All right, so now we're on the back nine here at the Admiral. I'm actually filming this first, but I'm releasing it second because I couldn't play the front nine first because there was another group playing. So I'm not sure what the score is going to be at this point, but this is me starting out the back nine. This is going to be hole number 10. It is 311 feet, and essentially just got to get down this tunnel here over the red tee pad, keep pushing straight, and then have it eventually dip left. We have a really big headwind right now, so I'm not exactly sure how bad the audio is going to be. But yeah, really strong headwind. So I'm gonna have to throw something more overstable because it's gonna probably flip to the right a bit because of the headwind. And I need something that's gonna come back left and just try to get down there and give myself a chance. With it being so windy, with this being a difficult course, I'm really just kind of playing for par for the most part. So the crazy thing is that's one of my most overstable discs, but it still rolled really right because of the left to right headwind. It just took that thing to the right, but luckily it was stable enough to be able to flatten out and not go completely to the right of the fairway. So I still have a decent approach shot. So you see my disc pretty much got up here. I think I threw it maybe like 275 or something like that, maybe a little less than that, but obviously the headwind is going to significantly cut down on the distance I was able to get. And I really was forced to throw something more overstable just to get it down the fairway in this wind. So I definitely picked a really hard day to play a really difficult course. Didn't do myself any favors in that regard. But anyway, it's a severe downhill behind that basket. So I'm gonna have to just do something kind of safe, like kind of a half run of the putt. I'm not gonna fully commit to it. I just wanna make sure I get close and get my par because it's just risky to try to putt in this wind. And like the front nine, I will put a video in the description below that has drone footage and tournament play, so you can actually see how these holes shape, since I don't really have a way to just walk you through each fairway and stuff. So check that out in the description below, but without further ado, let's get down here and putt. Yeah, so I stuck it to the hill, so that's gonna be a par. All right, so now we're at hole 11. This is a par 4, 405 feet with a water carry towards the end of the fairway. On this hole, I always just lay up because I don't have the arm to get across the water off the tee. And since it's a par 4, it gives you a little bit more flexibility to play a little bit safer and guarantee the par, maybe attack for a birdie on your second throw. And it's a massive headwind right now. It is so windy out here. You're gonna hear me say that a lot, but it's just true. So I'm just gonna try to get up the fairway and just give myself a place to approach from is really kind of the goal with this here. There's Roku cheering from the sidelines. It's okay, buddy. That's pretty much exactly what I wanted, to get up the fairway a bit to set up for a closer approach shot to the basket, but certainly not to go for it off the tee. Okay, so I'm at my lie. I'm gonna go for the approach shot. I'm gonna go kind of fast here because the wind's actually died down a little bit, and I wanna try to get my throw off before the wind picks back up. And I'm just gonna try to throw a forehand over the water, which I know sounds weird, but I'd rather it finish to the right towards the fairway than potentially finish towards the left and then actually go in the water. If it winds up going in the water, I feel like it's easier for me to avoid it by throwing a forehand over it than attacking into it with the backhand. So that's what I'm gonna go for here with the Justice. Bruh, that is about as close as it gets to going out of bounds in the water without actually going out of bounds in the water. That was dangerously close. Yep, I'm literally on the mud, so I can actually play that because you get a meter off the water line. At least I think so. There's no roped off OB here, so water I think is the only OB, so I should be able to take a meter from the edge of the water and try to do an uphill putt for a birdie, or at least try to make sure I save the par. But yeah, that is as close as it gets to absolutely wrecking yourself. I thought it would come harder to the right than that, but I guess a little bit of headwind caught it and flipped it over a little bit, or I rolled my wrist, one of the two, but luckily I stayed safe. There we go. Now we're at hole 12, shorter hole, 227 feet. It's just straight up. There's a little hill, and then it's tucked into the woods back there. So it's a little bit difficult. It's a little touchy. Gotta be accurate for sure, but definitely gettable. Ooh, I think I'm parked. I think I'm under the basket. That was a really good throw. Let's go check it out. Yeah, I just wanted to show you this green. It's so pretty. As I've been talking about other videos, this course is really one of the more maintained courses in the area and just looks so awesome. Some of these greens are really pretty. And I parked it. I mean, you'd love to see this. So we just went birdie on 11 and 12, which is pretty insane. Anyway, this is 13, 281 feet. The pro tee and the white tee is actually the same for this hole, which I've been playing white tees the whole time, by the way. You can see it's just straight fairway, pretty tight tunnel. That is actually to the right. Can't see it from here, but I'll try to show you when I get up there. Gotta put a forehand down there, give myself a chance. Tangled up on some trees. That's gonna be a rough one. All right, so here's where my forehand landed. I just didn't really get too far up the fairway. I threw my disc too high and caught a tree, but I still got up here a decent ways. I might do a jump putt, or I might have to just do a forehand approach shot because that tree's in the way on the right-hand side for a backhand. But I'll see once I get up there what looks the best. Maybe we'll go for the jump putt. Yeah, it's gonna be up there for the par. Now we're at hole 14, par 4, 423 feet. I think it's one of the more difficult holes on the course, and this whole course is difficult, but this hole in particular is tough because there's only a really tight gap you can hit basically right here in front of me, right next to the red tee sign. I have to be either straight or just to the right of it, and then the fairway just hooks right pretty hard. So it pretty much requires a forehand or a backhand turnover. Go ahead with the Raptor. Distance-wise, that's not great, but position-wise, I think it was where it needs to be to give me a shot to approach. So I actually landed a bit more to the right of the fairway than I wanted to be. I wanted to be straight ahead, but I'm off to the right, which kind of pinches me off from approaching the way I want to. Gonna have to do some kind of patent pending backhand probably. Yeah, so I threw that too high. Patent pending's a hard shot for me, but it felt like that's what I needed to do. But I definitely threw too high, hit a low ceiling, and now I'm kind of pinched off again, just like I was before. This time I'm going to try more of a forehand approach to get up to the basket. It's not the basket straight ahead, by the way, through all those trees. It's the basket more to the right of the big tree here on the frame. Got down there and gave me a chance for a par putt, perhaps. All right, so you can see the pink disc there is where I landed. Definitely behind some shrubbery, which is always fun to putt through for the par, but we're gonna give it a shot and see if we can't save it. That'll work. Okay, so now we're on hole 15. This is a par 4. It is 490 feet, we'll just say, here from the white tee. There's basically two options. You can either go left with the forehand or right with the backhand if you're a right-handed player. I'm going to try to go for the left-hand gap with the forehand, just because I think that I have a better chance of being accurate when I can look at my target the entire time in tunnel shots like this. So yeah, we're going to go with the forehand and see what we can do here. Good placement, I think. We'll have to see once we get down there. All right, so we actually got a pretty solid lie. I don't know if you could quite see the basket through all the trees down there. I'll try to pivot to the right a little bit, do a little zoom action. You can see it right there. So there's really two routes, again, to the basket. Depending on where you land is kind of where the route you're gonna take. There's that left side, which is, again, like another forehand route. And then there's the straight at it route, basically right in front of my disc. So that's probably the route I'm gonna go. I think trying to go the forehand route on the left-hand side is gonna be difficult for my position, though that's kind of my favorite approach style. So we're just gonna try to go straight at it. See if we can get something going. Faded too early. Oh, got some. That thing played pinball for a bit there. But I think I should get approach for the par for sure. All right, so that's where I landed. Again, I got some real favorable pinball action there inside of the trees right here to the left, which is pretty nice. I actually have like a legitimate birdie putt chance here. It's a long one, but there's a chance, and probably guaranteed a par unless I really screw up. Just a little too low, but it's gonna be a par. All right, so now we're at 16. This is actually probably one of the easier holes on the course, I would say. It's a par 30, it's 260 feet or so. It's pretty much dead straight, but there are some trees right in front of the tee that can definitely cause for immediate embarrassment. So you definitely gotta be careful with that. And just give yourself a chance, really. So that's what we're gonna try to do here. I noodle armed the crap out of that thing. He's cool. All right, I'm breaking the regularly scheduled programming to give you the red tee ace run. We're just gonna throw a couple of ace runs off the red tee because this is 180 feet. See what happens. Sight. Maybe? Nah, too high. Huh? Yeah, way too high. Maybe?
Oh!
We're just going, just throw this.
Okay.
Yeah, just get out there. I mean, take your time, but you know, get some out there. See what you got. I think it's gonna go right a little bit, by the way. That's sting.
Yeah.
They're just gonna go to the right. So just know that when you let go of it, it's gonna go right. Oh!
Right.
I mean, if that would have not hit that, it might have pushed straight and actually curved left and had a chance. Oh! Nah, just too short, but that was actually on line. So I went ahead and put a marker down before I picked up my disc to do the ace dealio, and I'm like right here to the left of this tree. So it's a long putt. I definitely just threw that disc way too low, super noodle arm off the tee. So I got my work cut out for me to get up there. All right, let's see if I can get this Anheuser putt deal. That's gonna be another par for me. All right, so now we're at hole 17, 580 feet, par 4. Definitely a couple different routes you can go here. I'm gonna try to go for the flex forehand route, where I'm gonna push a forehand to the left of this initial gap and have it break to the right when it gets further down the fairway. Try to set myself up, because I think the right side of the fairway is a bit more open for approaches, and so I want to be on the right side of the fairway or center fairway at some point, but I definitely need to push far and not hit this first group of trees right in front of me. Pretty much exactly what I wanted. All right, so that's where I landed, pretty much center of the fairway. So now I just got to try to throw a backhand down there and just put myself in position. A lot of trees obviously in the way, but I mean, that is really just every single hole on this course, I guess. So I'm sure you've heard enough by now about that. Bit of a tailwind, so I'm gonna throw something a bit more understable because it's gonna straighten out. Ooh, that looks like it was really good. So I actually juiced it past the basket a bit, so that's a bit unfortunate. But we'll see if we can make the comebacker putt for the birdie, actually. That's got a lot in my way. I don't know about this one. Threw too good of a shot. That makes no sense. All right, so we're at hole 18, last of the back 9, 655 feet. I think this is a par 5, actually. Yeah, it is. So just really tight woods, though. You really have to pick a lane. There's that one lane on the left, past that group of like a bunch of trees right together in the center, that you could throw a forehand through and have it flex to the left and come back right, or you could throw a backhand out the right lane and have it fade to the left. I think I'm gonna go with the backhand play, as that is the one that's a little easier to work with. Wow, that's what's up. All right, so there's where my Thrasher landed. I got a bit of a hyzer flip, rode right a bit, then straightened out and faded left perfectly in the center of the fairway. The basket is still up here a pretty good ways to the left. I'll try to walk up and see if I can show it to you. It's still a ways up there. That's why, even though the distance isn't super long, it's still a par 5 because essentially the angles of the fairway cut you off from making a lot of progress on your shots. So it's more about placement than distance. And so as you can see, it's just way up there to the left. So we're gonna go back to my lie now that I've kind of shown you what we're doing here, and see if I can't make an approach to set myself up. Theoretically, I would love to land basically where I'm standing at right now to show you the basket, because this would give me a great third shot to approach for a birdie putt. So hopefully I can land somewhere in this opening that I'm standing in to give myself a chance, but we'll see when we get back to my lie. So my goal is going to be basically to stay to the left of that tree right in front of my disc, but push it right, like towards that little shrub thing, and then have it flare to the left, hopefully. So I'm gonna throw something a bit more overstable and try to keep it fairly low, and hopefully that'll push forward a bit, and then it'll catch ground and kind of flare to the left towards where I need to be, or at least that's the hope, right? So yeah, that's what we're gonna try to do here. Ooh, that was a good flare. I didn't do it as low as I wanted, but I got exactly the flare to the left I wanted. That's a good example of how you can throw something overstable and low and have it skip and get a little bit of ground play out of it. It's a really useful shot to have in your bag. All right, so I actually pushed way further past that clearing than I showed you. I got a really unfavorable skip here with the Raptor. Thank you, Paul. Old Bewley Tour Series Raptor. Right where I need it to be. So now I'm just gonna try to make sure I get up close to the basket and give myself a birdie putt. Oh my, I almost put that thing in for the eagle. I've never gotten one of those before. I was close, actually. Well, that's a nice birdie to end things up here on the back nine. I'm not sure my overall score is because, again, I record this back nine video first, so I don't know what I've done on the front nine yet because I haven't played it yet, even though I'm releasing the front nine first. Weird, I know, but it's just the way the course was packed today with traffic, so I had to figure out a way to make sure I was playing. And so, yeah, I think on the back nine, though, I think I went 3 under. I don't think I bogeyed any holes. And, yeah, I did really, really well. Probably one of my best back nines ever at this course. Again, a very difficult one. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please follow, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Be on the lookout for more content here at Dustin Disc. Thank you so much.